Hi, I'm Didi Garcia Blaze, your Tequla Onda radio show host, and today I have a really important guest, Bolem Hussein. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. And I just recently met Bolem through Naiche, who's also in the filming industry. Shout out to Naiche. And I'm just going to read a little bit about your bio. Basically, Hussein has studied international business at Western International University, speaks 5 languages. When not acting or producing, he loves playing soccer, skydiving, and traveling. He's passionate about learning about new cultures in addition to delving into his own Algerian Berber roots. As one of a few Algerian American actors, Hussein aims to bring awareness and visibility to the potential of North African filmmaking. In 2014, Hussein applied his extensive experience as a performer to the field of production. He produced the short film True Love, which received awards at the Accolade competition and at the Best Shorts competition, and was nominated for a Sophie at the Short Film Awards. Since 2014, he has produced 3 other films. In 2015, Hussein received an Independent Global Humanitarian Award for his film work. That Global Humanitarian Award, was that for True Love or? Okay. Tell us about yourself. I know you've been on The American Sniper, The Accountant, Ride Along 2, along with numerous stints on TV shows including The Catch, NCIS, The Shooter, and SEAL Team.
Correct.
What am I missing?
Westworld. Okay.
Oh, Westworld.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit in Westworld. Sniper, The Accountant. Yeah, a few other projects. NCIS and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and recently I've actually been focused as working on Enlisted.
Okay.
That film, trying to get that out there. And
let's talk about Enlisted. First of all, a little bit of tidbit on Hussein. He is a veteran, and he decided to join the military after 9/11.
that's true. Yeah.
Why?
Went to the Air Force.
Give us a little
Well,
bit.
originally I was born in Algiers, North Africa, Algeria. I lived until I was 10 years old, and then my family decided to leave. My father was in politics, like I was telling you earlier, and we decided to move out due to terrorism and things like that because it was getting really bad over there. And then moved here, and this became my second home. And then 9/11 happened, and part of me just wanted to do something about what's really happening in this world, all this negativity and everything that's all the pain that caused by 9/11, and actually fight terrorism and make stop this, because this is my new home and wanted to do something about it.
Did you see a lot of terrorism before you moved out this way? Did you experience some of it when you lived in Africa?
To a certain extent, yeah. When I was
What did you see?
9 years old.
What do you remember? What
Explosions, gunshots. Yeah.
Did any
Waking
of your
up.
friends die? Or?
No, thankfully none of my friends have died. Actually, my father was threatened because he was in politics.
Okay.
And I remember like one time I was 7, 8 years old, something like that. And we were at school, going to school in the morning, and next thing you know, there was an actual terrorist attack right down the street.
Oh,
to where
wow.
they had to rush us into school, and it was,
Near the school?
near the school, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was.
Okay, so we both know that PTSD is a serious problem with veterans here in the United States, and so many veterans commit suicide. Can you give us some statistics?
Yeah, I mean, right now 22 veterans a day take their own lives due to PTSD, and it's actually PTSD is about post-trauma disorder, but it's actually not really a disorder itself. A lot of people used to call it a disorder, but now they changed it to PTS only. And that's because it's instead of it, it's some. Have you done any research on PTSD?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Yep.
So pretty much, it affects a person. It's not. A lot of people would think about it's only military veterans, but it affects practically anybody and everybody. The big thing about it is that it's not just the experience that they've had in the past. It could be a smell. It could be anything, and it's a hidden wound that you would never know the person have it if they don't talk about it. And there isn't enough awareness about it. Not a lot of people know exactly about PTSD or know about the PTS, how it affects our military veterans. And that's what I wanted to do, is actually to bring more awareness about it and put it out there so people know exactly the effect of it on our military veterans, but not just them, also their family members, because it's affecting our entire society.
Yeah.
I remember my first experience with a friend of mine who has it, and it was a few years ago. We went, before I even started doing research on it, we went to Disneyland, and he was an Army Ranger, so he's gone through war, and we went through the elevator ride.
Yeah.
And as we got inside of it, we're laughing, we're having a good time, and I never even knew he had PTSD at that moment. So we got inside of it, and the minute it dropped, his face just changed. And at first, I was like, I started laughing about it. I had no idea what's going on. I'm like, come on, man, you're tough.
Don't
you're
you
a
hate it when
ranger.
you laugh on
Yes,
accident?
exactly.
Not thinking
exactly.
that somebody's going through severe suffering, and you laughed at that.
I did.
Balloon.
And I had no idea. I did. And I had no idea what it was. It took me about a minute or two to connect the dots in my head. I'm like, oh my God, I know why he's acting this way. So we waited until it was done, and he literally just rushed out. I followed him, went to a peace place until he felt better. But a lot of people don't know what's really causing it to most of our veterans. So when they see somebody act a certain way to a certain situation, they don't know exactly what it is or why they're acting that way, and it gives up some sort of negative vibe so far. So my goal is to educate people and bring awareness of exactly what is PTSD and how to pay attention to the sign and how to support other veterans or just support people that are struggling with PTSD to start with. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it did. And when we were talking the other day, I was telling you that when I owned a coffee shop, I would have veterans come and visit and drink coffee. And I remember a couple of people that were really affected by it. One in particular was a medic. And so he just could not get over seeing bodies with limbs, no longer there on their body, guts everywhere and whatever. And I mean, just it's so hard for them to see so much trauma. So I applaud you on this film. So tell us about the film. What can you tell us about your film? His film is Enlisted. Tell us.
All right, so Enlisted, my goal with Enlisted, I've seen a lot of movies about PTS, and a lot of them actually go through talking about other people's reaction, talks about the person's treatments, but it doesn't talk exactly what's going on in their head at that particular moment. So my goal with the film, the way it's been shot, the way it was written, is to put the audience on, the main character, his name is Mike, and he's a military veteran who struggled with PTSD, and it's to put the audience on his mindset at that moment when he's struggling with it, to go through his mind and see exactly how he's thinking and what he's actually going through at that specific moment, so they can actually experience it themselves.
Oh, wow.
So the goal is to bring awareness, obviously, about PTSD, but also at the same time is to give hope to veterans. Because I'm not going to go through details, but there's certain things that happen towards the film and the end of the film where it gives hope to our military veterans at the same time that they're watching it, if they're struggling with PTSD, if they're going through similar situations, that there is hope. They're working on treatments, but there is hope. There is a way to keep going and keep fighting the way we've been trained to fight and survive this.
Now, there was a movie about PTSD, wasn't it? The American Sniper?
American Sniper was a touch bases on it, correct?
And it kind of made you feel like some of the things that he experienced, it was such a tragedy how that movie ended, but you go more into what a person is experiencing.
Yeah. Like my main goal is to focus on what the veteran or the person struggling with PTSD, whether it's a veteran or a police officer or anybody, how they're reacting to it at that moment and what they're experiencing, so an audience can actually feel exactly what they're experiencing at that specific moment and get a feeling of it, if that makes sense.
How long did you serve in the military?
I was in the Air Force for about almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that firefighters and civilian police officers and other people, experience PTSD. But I think the reason why this is this issue is something near and dear to my heart, it's because when you sign up for the military, you're locked in.
True.
It's not like civilians who they can quit their job. With government military members, you are locked in. I mean, your government property.
That's true.
So there's that additional anxiety, because if you know, there's consequences.
And that's the thing. Like, the way I see is, like, police officers, yeah, they go through it, or any person can have PTSD or can have that effect. But veterans, especially war veterans, that's their life. They're sent out there. They're experiencing trauma on a daily basis. It doesn't happen once a month, or it may happen, it may not happen. They're experiencing it on a daily basis. Yeah. And the big thing that affects our veterans, from the research that I've done and the ones that I've interviewed, is that it's not really what they've experienced there so much. It's about coming back home and their best friends are gone. They come back home to where somebody that they've served with for 2 years, 3 years, they have children and wives here, and that person's back home, but his friend is not here to be there with their family. And that's actually what causes them to take their own lives for the most part. Yeah. It's 22
a day.
22 a day. That's a big number, and there isn't enough awareness about it, which is,
So when are you going to promote this on Amazon, Netflix? What's going on?
I am. Right now, actually, by the end of this month, by the end of December, we should have the exact release date on it. It is going to be on Amazon. It's on social media right now. It's on Instagram and Facebook. But we're going to start marketing once we're done post-production. Going overseas right now to market it overseas as well. So I'll try to bring a lot of awareness into it and put it out there so people can experience and see.
Why don't you tell the audience how they can see the trailer and tell them what's in the trailer, where to locate this information on social media?
So the trailer right now, there's a small teaser that we put out. It's on Facebook and Instagram. It's actually on YouTube as well. If you look up on Facebook, Enlisted Film, you should be able to find it. And on Instagram, the same thing. It's Enlisted Film. There's a page for it. You can also look me up, and I share it all the time, so you'll be able to find me, Boulam Hassain. I'll spell my first name. That's Boulem. Last name is Hasssaine. And again, B, Bravo, Oscar, Uniform, Alpha, Lima, Echo, Mike for the first name.
Now, you're going to be going to Paris in Europe to promote this. Why Paris? Why there? I mean, are you going to promote it over there first because there's more of, like, you get a faster response, or are you just kind of going to come back and make your way over here after because you want to go to Paris for the holidays?
God, you're smart. How'd you figure that out?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. One of the things, Paris, because I actually have a couple of producers up there that are interested in putting it out in movie theaters, so we're trying to go to Paris. Oh.
Is the sound okay?
Yes.
We're good?
Yeah, you gotta go.
Are you okay?
To the audience, we apologize for the technical difficulties.
Wow.
It's a good thing we don't have PTSD right now.
That's true.
That would not be good. Okay, so basically you just kind of want to go to Paris for the holidays and sort of they make your way back over here to promote it.
Exactly. I'm going to be in Paris and then going to Dublin, going to Berlin, Milan. So I'm going to do it all over Europe type of promotion for it and then bring it back home and run it from here.
Okay. So let's talk about something funny. I want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Before we go funny, we want to go funny. So
right.
I like funny because that's such a serious topic, and it's so serious. It just, I don't know, it's heavy. So I'm gonna put Boulam on the spot, and
wow.
What's the funniest thing that you've ever experienced in entertainment? Tell us a funny story. I know.
That's a good question. The funniest thing I've experienced in entertainment. Wow. I can probably talk about the funniest thing that happened within this film.
Okay.
To be, it's with Naiche, actually. I give props to Naiche.
Shout out to
Naiche. He's our DP, he's our director of photography. He did an amazing job. So before one of the locations that we went to film at is called Gold King Mansion, and it's located out by Kingman, Arizona. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. And a week prior to us going there, me and Naiche went on location scout to scout it out and actually drive up there. And trying to get there, it was pretty easy for us at first. We had an FJ Cruiser, so we were able to just drive up very close to it. But what happened is that the night before we were supposed to film, it rained and it stormed. So between all the boulders, all the dirt came out. So when we went there with the full crew to film, it was impossible for us to drive. So we actually had to park, carry all the equipment, let go a lot of people, and then we went there to film. And that's when actually I give a lot of props to Naiche for stepping in and actually making sure set was done properly. But the funniest part out there is, as we're going through it, we're all carrying equipment, and it was literally like one of my camera guys, as he's walking the equipment, slipping and falling down. It was literally like, we should have filmed that, because it was like the funniest thing ever, just to see how everybody was falling, everybody was slipping, and and then we got there and it started storming on us. So we're inside, there's rain, that's probably one of that. I'm trying to think, what else?
What drives you to do what you want to do? I mean, you're all about moving back and forth to LA and Arizona. I mean, not moving, but driving. What's inspiring? I mean, you're a veteran. What inspired you to just go hardcore in entertainment and film?
All right, so mostly I do acting. I do a lot of acting. I also do producing. I'm a big, huge believer that there's only one race, that's the human race. We're all somewhat related, all somewhat the same way. And I happen to find through acting, I'm able, whichever character I play, whichever role I'm playing, I'm able to find a way to connect with that particular role. Doesn't matter whether it's a serial killer, whether it's a businessman, doesn't matter what personality it is, there's always that connection between me, and I use that as connection between all of us humans, that we always can relate to each other and connect to each other. So I'll try to use entertainment in a way to bring positivity and help make a world a better place if it's even possible, but just try to use that platform to educate people, like PTSD, for example, educate them on things that could make the world a better place.
Now, didn't you play a Mexican character? Because you straight up, I mean, you look like us.
I did. I did.
What did you play?
I played a couple of them. One of them was on the TV show The Bridge, where I was a Marine for the Mexican Marine role. I had to learn a couple of Spanish, a few lines here and there. But so that was one of the things.
What was the line that you learned? Do you remember?
Tell me about it. No, I don't. And I had to change it. A couple of times I actually changed the lines on me in foreign language right on the spot. So it's like,
So,
but I do not.
To my audience, Bolam is an honorary Mexican because he can play those roles.
That's true. That is true. I am a Mexican by heart, in a way. Yep.
That is so funny. Okay, let's talk about another issue near and dear to your heart.
Okay.
Africa.
Yes.
You're from Africa.
I am.
And I know that you just want to, I don't know, raise awareness.
Yep.
You were telling me earlier, why?
Great.
Why are you wanting to go back to discussing issues with regard to
Africa and
Algerian issues?
That's home in a way, and it's just seeing what's happening in that region of the world, whether it's poverty, whether it's struggle, just seeing the potential that part of the world has, and they're not taking advantage of it. That drives me insane sometimes, and my goal is try to bring awareness to that region of the world, and also bring more productions to be done there to help their economy and help them in a way to better themselves and become less poverty, less disease, like just help that region of the world in general. Even though Algeria, it's in a very good standing point right now, but just the other parts of Africa, my goal is just trying to go there, trying to help educate, try to help make it a better world, a better place, because that's the future.
What's the terrorism going? I mean, has it decreased? What's going on?
It's actually much better now. It is much, it's decreased. There isn't any terrorist activities over there, so that it's very safe to go there at this point.
Not even the Horn of Africa? Is there still terrorism in the Horn?
There is probably toward the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
Yeah, but like where originally I'm from, which is by Algiers, right next to the Mediterranean Sea, right there is pretty safe. Like there's there's no issues whatsoever there.
Okay, good.
So Morocco is actually right next to us, and Morocco's been having a lot of movies going there, and it's actually progressing and becoming a lot better. So trying to spread that towards other regions is the goal.
Yeah, so that's really neat, though, that you know you don't forget your roots, and you know, essentially,
Actually,
even though I know the United States is your home and you're very patriotic, otherwise you wouldn't have joined
Thank
the
you.
military after
Thank you.
9/11. It's still motherland
It
to
is.
you. So
And what's really interesting is we're talking about like all the race, like one race. I did my DNA test, and I turned
are you
out
Mexican?
I'm actually
Just
not
kidding.
Mexican, but I am like 23% Portuguese and 22% from Spain.
Oh.
So somewhat I am related to
Yeah,
Mexico
yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
So it's really neat just to see like the spread out, how that works out.
Is there anything you want to tell my audience? What's burning in your heart to say? You were driving here in your Porsche or whatever. What did you want to say? You were like, you know, you have something in your mind that you want to share.
Actually, yeah. Specifically, not just the movie, but it's about our veterans. And I may get a little dramatic at this point.
Get
Sorry.
dramatic. Get Mexican on
But
us.
let's do it. ¿Qué pasa? I need to learn a little more Spanish. I'm working on it, though. I'm working
More
on
than
it.
¿Qué pasa?
¿Cómo estás?
Okay.
There you go. But yeah, now I need to work on my
Now
Spanish.
now you need to get back into the vibe of getting in touch with your heart.
There you go. Let's do that.
Totally threw him off.
All right, so let's get back to topic. So our veterans and the people that are struggling with PTSD specifically, it's really, to me, it's like a hidden wound that nobody, and I've said it before, nobody can see what they're going through. And 22 veterans dying every day, that is unacceptable, honestly. It's those people give their lives, get signed up to give their life, give everything to protect us and make sure that we're safe back home here, that we can actually have the freedom to do whatever we want to do. But yeah, when they come back home, they're not getting the proper treatment to deal with mental issues like PTS and a few other things. So please, just take a moment, take 5 minutes out of your day, just try to Google PTS, try to look it up, find out exactly what it is. And you never know, maybe your neighbor, next door neighbor, somebody down the street may be struggling with it. Just pay attention to the little signs, try to figure out a way how to help this. And also look at nonprofit organizations out there. We actually started one, it's called Humanity for Heroes. And there are a lot of them, like the Navy SEALs Foundation, that helps veterans struggling with PTSD. The Lone Survivor is another huge one as well. So try to do whatever you can do, help out our veterans, and let's try to make this a better world for them. I mean, they've given everything for us, so it's time for us to actually give something back and help them out.
Yeah. Who are the veterans who are in your film? You want to give a shout out to them?
Yes. Christine Marie, Jonathan Grady, and these people came from all over just to help out, make sure that this project is done. Some of them are actually struggling with PTS as we speak of. So I'd like to give shout out to Christine Marie, Jonathan Grady. I want to give shout out to Scott, the person who played Mike, the character Mike. He's an actor, he's not a veteran, but he goes above and beyond in supporting our veterans in any way he can possibly do it. So those are Naiche, of course. I'd like to give shout out to Naiche, and Kevin. Kevin Johnson is the camera operator. He was a second unit AD as well as second unit DP, and he's gone above and beyond to make sure this project is done. So
now, Christine Marie and John Grady, what can you share with regard to their PTSD? Are they overcoming it? Are they getting, I mean, where are they at on this? I mean,
I can't really discuss their personal life and if what they're going through, but what I can say is that John Grady, a very close friend of mine, he's a Navy vet, and this guy has some of the best work ethic you can possibly imagine out there. I mean, he goes above and beyond helping vets, helping military personnel, helping people, and just in general.
So how do we get a hold of John Grady? Is he on social media?
He is.
As Jonathan or
Jonathan,
John?
actually.
Jonathan Grady, yeah.
Jonathan Grady.
Two rock stars. Shout out to Christine Marie and John Grady for their participation in Enlisted, the film. And like Bolam said, to help in this cause, a very important issue with regard to veterans, you can look up Humanity for Heroes and or Lone Survivors.
Yeah, Lone Survivor is another huge foundation.
Okay.
Yeah. And
what do they like provide counseling?
Yeah, they help provide help support military person. Like the Navy SEALs Foundation is strictly for Navy SEALs, and then the Lone Survivor is actually the founder of Lone Survivor. He was an ex-SEAL as well, and they help veterans and family members of the veterans that have passed away to better their lives and just help them to be there for them.
Now, one of the things I found out, because it just popped into my mind when you brought up the Navy SEALs Foundation, but I didn't know this, but you were in pararescue. I was a bomb dog handler in the Air Force. He was in pararescue for the Air Force, and pararescue is equivalent. It is like the Navy SEAL within the United States Air Force. So this guy right here, I watched his kind, with regard to pararescue kind, the kind of military members, literally just running with a telephone pole.
Telephone poles, yeah.
I mean, were you doing that when?
Yeah, that's part of the training, and that's part of the Superman and things like that. Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge in pararescue training? Because you guys trained at Lackland too, right?
Yep. Mentally is actually the biggest struggle.
How?
It's how mentally, just going through training itself, how mentally it breaks you. Somebody told me this a while back, and normally when you're ready to give up, there's always that 30% within you. And it's the biggest thing is where your body, your mind is telling you to just give up, stop, whatever you do, just give up. And you can't do it anymore. And you just have to keep pushing past that. That gets you past that point. That's the biggest part, is when you stop listening to your mind and your body and you just keep going. If that makes any sense.
Did you have those moments underwater when you had to do underwater training?
The training.
What was the most difficult part within the training?
Honestly, like I said, it was mostly the mental part of it, because like your body, but it's
so
when you want to give up, you just want to give up. You're ready to give up. You're done. You're like, I can't do this. Like physically and mental, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't be here in this pool. I can't do this anymore. But you got to keep going. You just got to find it within you to just keep pushing and keep going through it.
How many started out in the program, and then how many graduated?
Well, statistically, 9 out of 10 failure rate out of Superman school. I believe it's 9 out of 10 statistically. That's gonna, out of all the special forces out there, it's probably one of the toughest ones.
All right, so we got a 1%er here. Not only is he an honorary Mexican who knows 2 words in Spanish, ¿qué pasa?
Well,
but
several other words that I'm not going to say here, but yeah.
No thanks to probably Naiche.
Thanks to Naiche, exactly.
We're going to blame everything on Naiche. Final words. Why don't you just give one more time a way that the audience can contact you? Again, look for Enlisted and help you promote it. Share the trailer.
Yep. So you can find it on IMDb, but most importantly, Enlisted, you're going to be able to find it where it's going to be on Facebook, Enlisted Film. If you look that up, search that on Enlisted, you'll be able to find it. You can look me up. I'm pretty sure she'll tag me on a lot of the stuff, so you'll be able to look me up that way. It's also on Instagram. We just started the Instagram page, so it's roughly a new page for. We haven't done any of the marketing here within the United States, but you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to see the teaser, several of the posters that we've posted over there as well.
And again, this is Bolam Hussein, and thank you for coming to the show. Osvaldo, our producer-director, says hi, and he says bye, and peace out.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.